You're just doing us all a service. You know, more work for the rest of us.
Yeah, you know, I try and be a rarity in things, and then I only come back when I have a potential 5 black holes in one game, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay.
I remember why I cast again.
Let me just remember why I get out of my wheelchair, leave my nursing home, to come out and do things. So let's see the lanes. It does look actually like Jab is going to stick around with Tidehunter. It's kind of nice to have it against a melee hero, just to have this continuous harassment from the silencer. Yeah.
DJ, I'm just excited to watch during this game. He was he was the most highly recruited player at the TI Shuffle. Wherever he went, there was a lot of people that would have followed him anywhere. He was seen as like this up-and-coming Rising 4 player that was the new best. And his Earth Spirit, I think, right now is the best in the world. He is nuts. Abed mid as well, another highly touted player. They do get the lanes that they want on Fnatic. They put the Tidehunter bottom, and it looks like that's where the TB is going to be. Monkey King currently camping out mid as a courier in the Roche pit.
Hey, why not?
They see the Necro top, so they're probably going to look to switch. I hope they look to switch. Oh, wait. I'm so silly. Monkey King is mid against Dark Warden.
Yeah.
I have no idea how this matchup functions, I'll be honest.
Well, you get to watch it closely. It looks like it's going to be still a 2-2 rune trade. Fnatic will take all the ones on the bottom. Tigers take all the ones on the top.
Yep.
And Dark Warden's going to get the better block. Wonder Kid's going to be very late to it. He only starts the tier 2 tower, but our bed's already well ahead of him.
Interesting. I like what Fnatic's doing, I think. They're going to aggro Tri-Lane into the Terrorblade. It's a real tough matchup for him. And then that'll free up DJ to rotate middle on the Monkey King as well.
That's a lot more flexible for them. Like, DJ's here for just the very beginning. Probably was hoping there'd be a fight. And they just are able to get the kill either onto Zephyr or force out the only Metamorphosis from Terrorblade. But they're going to get cursed up, and this is... Yep. Zephyr walks back out. He wasn't ready for DJ to be there. So bottom lane needs to get a brain snap, a little bit extra life, and backs off, but the damage is done.
Yeah, the real damage is that they actually got the creep control. So now this Tri-Lane's value is even more effective. DJ, being the player he is, will block that easy camp spawn with his body, and now look at where the wave is. You can't threaten this anymore. You're a Terrorblade. If you meta here, they're just going to immediately gush, and they have 3 different abilities in this lane that deal magical damage, so you're much trouble.
This top lane looks so weird. So you got Rivalry US to, not Rivalry, MP, not their sponsor.
Oh,
they got him. They got him. Zephyr had such a fantastic game last time around, but Ice will claim him as first blood this one. But it's Moon just pulling the wave and just farming up the camps as well, allowing 1437 to just pump harassment non-stop into MP while he's in the trees.
Yep. Welcome to the new offlane.
Axe, who's very self-sufficient, and the support who can just zone him.
Axe is going to get huge, though. Moon loves this scenario. Gonna just get...
Rotations coming in. Lena's going to head to the bottom lane so they can bring in the Line Strike Array, but they kind of need to bait Fnatic into going for another initiation and to bring the Silencer in closer. They don't want Ice. He's a little too tanky for this. But the ES, he finds an Invis rune, he might spoil the entire thing. But they've cursed him up. It looks very, very juicy on Tigers. Now the jump out. Ice. Well, he's going to gush over on 1437. And with the arrival of DJ, Jabs does drop low. But it ends up just being a 1-for-1 trade-off. Try on the bottom.
Yep. Real surprised. Ice has actually pulled up 1,100 gold. I really would like to see him spend it. He hasn't put a penny into anything.
He's going to buy boots and a stick.
Yeah. Oh,
and now
trouble.
Well, so they go over for Zephyr instead. Right now, Ice is more focused on beating into the Terrorblade. She also flagged too, like you were wondering about how the mid matchup would go. Right now, CS-wise, it's going the way of Wonder Kid. 16-2 against the 9-3 of Abed.
And here comes a gank. A smoked up 1437 looking to make a play. Tough, though. They don't have lane control just yet. Abed, one of the... He reminds me a lot of S4 in that he never really loses a lane, and most of that is just because of excellent creep control. He's almost always got it on his hill instead of the enemy, and it keeps him safe from rotations like this.
DJ rotates in towards the mid, but you've already got the big buff up over on Wonderkid, but he didn't actually have enough time to just sit back and throw out the Boundless Strike and get a really good hit, and 1437 stun. Wasn't ready for DJ to arrive either. So harassment's one thing, but that's just a good turnaround for Fnatic's mid lane. Still unbelievable, the CS that you're able to achieve as Nax on the top. He's going to crack 50 CS in 4 minutes.
Yep.
Silencer in the meantime, looking for a +2 on the Bane. Bane running away. Those mangoes giving just enough regeneration. He'll live on 31 HP and then back up.
Moon is level 6.
Yep. 54 CS. He's 2.7k net worth. Battle Hunger's the wave, and then he doesn't lose the aggro. It keeps chasing him down, even in nighttime.
The only downside is that this game is not ideal for an Axe because it's so difficult to kill any of the cores of Fnatic. Plus, they have the Peel of the Earth Spirit. If there were a Troll, a TB, some hero that you just counter hard throughout the game, this would be much more impactful. It's still nice, but he can't just win a game by himself.
Nice rolling boulder down towards the bottom lane, but DJ he takes way too much damage. Thought he was going to be okay, but this is the Metamorphosis. This is the reflection. Terrorblade, he may only be level 3, but still packs a punch.
Huge punch.
One
Arcane's already on the tide. Wow. Ice is farmed.
Wonderkid's rotating over. He may be looking for that 5-minute bounty rune, not to mention he'd be looking for the 5-minute shrine if they were going to go for that kick. Oh, he'll get the bounty, but does he get out of this one? Slapped down, trying to get closer towards Jabs, but he's having trouble. Space created. 1437 able to connect on the stun, but it won't help. Jab still gets the +2 on the Monkey King.
That is one
very deep.
That's one of the reasons you don't want to rotate as a mid player. It's really not worth it even if he gets that kill on Silencer. That's just very rough for him, and that's the power of Gush. It is a super underrated level 1 ability. It's a 4-second 4 armor reduction and 40% slow. Level 1 from a range. Like, you're a Monkey King, he walked up, suddenly he's 0 armor, and now he's taking pure damage from all these attacks. And he just dies immediately.
Moon has Vanguard done 5 minutes into the game.
Yep. I wouldn't mind seeing him continue doing what he's doing. No one's pressuring this lane. Like, screw messing with this Necro. Just keep farming.
Unless he's trying to make him think that someone's coming in behind him. But mid lane is where my eyes start to turn. Bed. He's got the distance. It was mainly because DJ was looking to wrap around the back, but he throws down the Observer Ward and gets a lot of information.
And now, look, he's going to hunt Axe. They know that if Moon gets too aggressive, he catches some magic damage and a Scythe, he will go down. And that's what DJ's looking to do. I love this play from him. Utilize the nighttime to go get wards down. You don't see a lot of Tier 2 teams do this, but all the good ones, they make sure that at night, they will see the day.
Yep, and they're even going to TP over the Arc Warden, so...
it's just the clone, too.
Yeah, came in with the clone, but it's still enough damage to ensure you can get to the very end, and they do actually get the Reaper Scythe off. 30 seconds on the sideline for Axe.
It wasn't the extra death timer, though, so that is nice for Moon. He would have been dead for a full minute, which is another part of the reason Necrophos... He's got all his abilities. He has like 7 abilities. You know that?
Necro?
Yeah. Your Q used to be 2 abilities. They put it together. Your W amps damage while slowing and rendering you immune to physical. And then your ult increases respawn and does damage. And, of course, if you get the kill, it heals you. I'm just saying, if anyone's watching this and you're in charge of the 7.2 patch.
Something you would like to have brought to their attention. Bottom lane's fortified up. Jabs, 1437 is in a triangle, and I don't know if Wonderkid can really do anything about this. They get the silence over on Lina, so 1437 feels very, very vulnerable, but they didn't actually chase it down. With the arrival of Monkey King, it's enough to just make Fnatic want to back off a Monkey King. Ice, ice, ice. Well, taunt as he just runs away.
Now you're fine with this, though. You made the mid player rotate once again, and we've seen this a lot in Dota. You just don't want to move. You want to sit in these lanes, especially as a solo hero. If you check out mid, yeah, he won initially, but after those 2 deaths, suddenly Monkey King is even with Arc Warden instead of really being on top of him like he was in the early laning phase.
Why does it always feel, too, like with the Terrorblade pickups that around the 5-minute mark we see them just moving into the jungle, fearful of anything that comes at them?
It's not about being fearful. It's just you get more resources out of the woods. Why be in a dangerous position when you have a hero that can freely farm the woods?
Because there's someone like an Invoker who just sits in mid and just starts to free farm because you have no presence in the lane anymore.
That is true. I guess, well, they wanted to swap lanes, but I don't know if you want to abandon mid. It's just kind of tough. Once Arc Warden hits this level, the clone spawn into just double Flux, double Wraith with always DJ off map. It's just so much kill potential. And Fnatic does a great job of not just having this Earth Spirit pickup on a great player, they always ensure he's activated. And in this game, as we've seen, he can find kills in all 3 lanes. You want that when you pick it up.
1437 is having to do the long walk. I don't know if he's really so happy about this. He's wondering if he's meant to deny himself up. Farmed up to level 5 and then just has to walk back to base while DJ. He's leeching some experience from Moon. He will burn the shrine. It's probably for just convenience. His Vanguard would have given him all the health anyway.
I don't think he can make a kill happen, but he might go for it anyway. Maybe just do some harass.
They're pinging out. Like 1437 is pinging out, saying like he's pinging the cliff, which is exactly where that Dire Observer Ward is.
And they're bringing 3 heroes bottom, but this is a Ravage Tidehunter, folks. This might not be your play.
That's why they're just jumping over the top of him, trying to avoid it, but there's double TPs on the way. It's the clone of Ahnberg, but it won't stop Wonderkid from one getting the slap down, but then he goes in for the Wukong. This may not be enough to survive, not unless a Light Strike Array creates more space, and he almost kills DJ.
Almost only counts with horseshoes and hand grenades, Toby. Unfortunately, that's not a kill. And that means there's going to be an earn finished on the Earth Spirit. He's going to walk right back to base.
American logic.
That's an expression. There's a lot of idioms in American culture, all right? That's how we learn to communicate.
I didn't get a lot of lessons in horseshoes and hand grenades back in Australia, sorry.
Well, we don't... if there's one thing I hope to see before I die, it's the metric system adopted by every country in the world. I think I'll be disappointed, though.
Yes, Fahrenheit users. Monkey King's bouncing up towards the top, looking to try and contest up that 10-minute rune. One more hit onto Jabs. He's got the big slap down. He can just get one more hit. He knows it, but Jabs through the trees. One more hit. Wonder Kick can reach it, but support for Core again. How many times must we see this trade-off?
Yeah. And this is the concern. Fnatic right now, all 3 of their cores are having great games, and we already discussed how survivable they're going to be. Not to mention their team fight. My goodness, Tide, Necro, Arc Warden, the Silencer ult, every hero contributes. You look at Tigers. Bane Lina, the hell are they going to do in a fight? Feed to Ravage?
If they can get the initial setup, then that's where I'd look. So you smoke in, you Nightmare into Light Strike Array. It's a very simple combination for him.
Moon's going to have to do some work. I need a performance reminiscent of Seb's game on OG in that TI Finals. I mean, he's got to go off, find kills everywhere, and it's just going to get more and more difficult. Ice is going to have Helm of the Dominator soon. You saw Necrobook 1 picked up on Arc Warden. You can already see Fnatic understand where they are in their draft. They're going to have this crazy tempo they can play with all this push potential that'll be online very soon.
Yep, and that's something the Terrorblade is not really equipped to fight just yet.
No, he is not.
He's got Treads, Aquila, and he's got a Wraithband, so you know eventually he needs to have that Dragon Lance. He needs to have that range to try and keep the distance from Fnatic. And maybe with the double damage rune, he can bring down the mid tower. Axe was hanging by, but with Blink Dagger already up, the initiation of Moon is pretty good. I don't know if really Fnatic want to have anything to do with this Terrorblade. Even if they do try and find somewhere near the initiation, but it's... And Lina keeps the bottom lane out, so ISIS wants to force the tower.
Yep. He's got the catapult taken over. This is why I love this item on Tide. It's same with the Baden, really. You turn a hero that does apply a lot of pressure into finally you can actually apply tower damage as well.
Silence is in trouble. Jump forward, Jab just walks right underneath the Observe Ward, and there's little to nothing he can do about it. No teammates are nearby. Instead, they're smoked up as MP as well as DJ looking for a gank. Heading towards the Terrorblade, thinking maybe he's farming up inside the jungle, and that's exactly where he's backing off to. Just as Metamorphosis will wear off, they put down the Observer Ward and just watches his area. Perfect roll in, gets the silence in. There's no Sunder, and that's 48 seconds worth of death.
And not only do they get the kill, the Scythe, as you said, that delays Ajit's farm progression even more. And they'll probably get this bottom tower in just a moment. Ice can actually, this is great play from Fnatic. They get the 1 kill, now they immediately dive. They're going to force 1437 to TP away immediately. In the meantime, Jab's mid. He's going to cover that lane, ensure he gets level 6. Abed just farming Ancients. This is really smooth by Fnatic.
Yeah. Hilariously enough, it's still a pretty even game. It's about 1,000 net worth going the way of Tigers. The experience is also pretty damn close. It's just distributed a little bit more differently where Silencer has practically nothing, same with the Bane. But there's a lot more clearance that can come in from the rest of the Tigers lineup and the amount of net worth the Axe has been able to achieve in comparison to Tidehunter. But then again, Tide has Ravish, so I guess he wins.
Yeah, that's the concern, right? Because, yeah, you can taunt the Tide as the Axe, but you're never really able to target him down first, especially when there's all this counter-initiation combo break on the supports. And that's the concern with Tigers. We've seen Secret win a lot of games on the backs of their supports. Fnatic has that same style, and I think it might be effective in this game.
Ice really doesn't care. He's keeping the catapult in the trees as he attacks the bottom tier 2 tower. There will be a semi-trade-off, but the push is nowhere near as strong for Tigers. They have to bring Monkey King up here, and then they look for even more battles, and that's the Bane. Kind of in no man's land, trying to use the Nightmare to dodge the Spark Rays that were flying his way. And now Tide begins his TP forward. The Monkey King silenced up, can't jump away, can't even get the Boundless Strike to connect.
Yep. And he really won't have a game. The magic damage from Fnatic is just so strong. They can find pickoffs with any core plus DJ. And it's this 1+1 concept that they were really the first to utilize this season, where they just can hunt so effectively because any time DJ's off map, he's a threat with any lane and any hero.
I love how Ice is racking up 2 creep waves with Cardi at the moment. Just messing around with the creep wave. Not that Moon cares that much. He's got 1 creep with him, and he'll just keep keep soaking up the entire wave as it comes his way. And if anything, it actually kind of makes a triple stack wave.
Yep.
But it also isolates the Axe. He wants to try and survive, able to get the bonus movement speed thanks to the battle hunger that's down, but he's surrounded by everybody, and with the Reaper's Scythe.
Oh, man.
75 seconds dead. We're 15 minutes into the game. And that means bounty runes as well going the way of Fnatic. What?
No comment.
Nightmare on top. This
things.
is the combination we were talking about. Nightmare, Fiend Script.
I don't
a little bit of a
you kill him.
mischaining. They have Laguna, but they needed to chain their stuns a little bit better than that. They just didn't know exactly what would happen. And 1437 is not a healthy man, and Tidehunter able to blink away before the leap can connect, and Ice tips him.
Yep, they didn't recognize that that's a Tidehunter, and the Monkey King ult had to go down during the sleep.
He looks like a watermelon, but I don't recognize what a watermelon is.
You ever try to punch a watermelon and break it? It's real difficult.
I have not. I'm not a violent man. Spark Wraith will kill 1437 in mid. No way he can escape that. DJ made sure there was just enough damage.
And Abed already with the Necro 1 and the Midas. He is so farmed, and I would not be surprised to see him just take over the game at this point.
He's taking the tier 1 town for the moment. Terrorblade doesn't really want to get involved in this. It's up on the top lane where MP try and chase after the Bane. Where he put Axe in the dirt for a very long time. DJ, he can create space, so Moon, even if he thinks he can chase this, he knows he can't. ES will just reveal and go. And they even give him an invis rune for more initiation power.
It's a cool game so far, but the longer it stays even and progresses, the more I favor Fnatic. I just think their team fight's going to be so strong. And how many games do we see come down to Roche fights? You need
our last one, a lot.
Yeah.
Until the end, that didn't even really matter.
And I just don't see Monkey King as a hero that can be effective in a game from this position in net worth. You want to be ahead and snowballing.
Well, he was meant to win his lane, right? Like he was meant to be up against the Tidehunter and actually just get the 4-stack and boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
But as you said, Fnatic got every single lane they wanted, and it looked like Tigers wasn't really interested in changing it up.
Yep. Not to mention, Moon, level 14, had that Vanguard blink so fast, but he's 0-2-0. Had absolutely no impact just yet, and that's partly because who does he hunt with? Who does he kill even? He has no real targets. Abed's playing this game very conservatively, just constantly farming Ancients, pushing out middle, TPing with clone only. You can't find him.
I'm loving the catapult from Ice is trying to scout out the tree lines to see exactly where Moon is, and somehow they managed to work like ships in the night. Just completely past each other, and they want the kill. DJ as well as MP, they smoked up because they want this. In fact, you're even getting DJ TPing over towards the shrine. The blink is out, and Moon will be able to complete his TP. DJ will never see him again. And an Arcane Rune for Arc Warden. Sure.
This game, I mean, it's Arc Warden versus Terrorblade, right? It's kind of what you expect. One of these heroes, however, has 2 tools. Like, I love the Necro one because it's just so value. It was made cheaper for the first purchase, but more expensive on the third, or level 3 Necro rather. So if you have Midas and Necro as an Arc Warden, like you have 2 steroids that you can use twice. So even here, right, you TP the clone bottom, but you pop the Necro. So now it's going to kill the whole wave so long as you micro it properly. Not only does it stop the push, but you get a lot of gold, forces the meta. Probably going to lose this tower, but still, look top. Tide took that. He's going to go Refresher after his Blink pickup.
That's a pretty heavy commitment into overwhelming team fight. I suppose at this point there's been no real pressure to even like make Ice worry that he needs to buy a pipe or any kind of sustain for his team. They have that in droves through the Necro too, and will Spark Race do the job?
Yep. Welcome to Bane vs Arc Warden. Your life is miserable.
Always something to take the nightmare off. Always freedom. One of the kids thinking about initiating in on the bottom lane, but when you see the mass TPs arrive, he does not want to jump this. In fact, he's going to throw the Boundless Strike onto MP, as well as Jabs, trying to create a little bit more space. But with the Global Silence out, they find a target. It's a Terrorblade over him. The trees, the Ravage won't hit him, but the Reaper's Scythe will.
Just so easy for Fnatic. They have such a massive magic damage advantage that they're going to dominate this mid game until somebody on Tigers can either make a play or pick up a BKB. You can see Axe is trying to pick one up. Terrorblade is going to queue it up in a few moments, but until those items come online, you literally cannot fight Fnatic. And it's not like they're on a clock either. You've got a Midas Maelstrom already on Abed. He's level 15.
Yeah. They're going to have the overwhelming team fight. They've got easy split push. And one kill at any point of this game can put someone on the sidelines for such a long period of time that, you know, you can win the game if you just take one really good fight. Like, if I Reaper Scythe the Terrorblade and he's down for 2 minutes, I think we've won.
Yep. I love the way they itemized. Both Tide and Necro going for second item blinks after that early build-up. Yules on Necro, Tide going with the HOD. So they have easy follow-up for their non-blink required initiator, DJ.
Mid lane 1437. Easily picked off. It just started with DJ initiating in. And then just some simple follow-up from the Necro and Jabs.
Yep, and he's going to go Radiance to just further ensure that, look, we're not going to have any late game problems. And I question how you plan on ever winning a team fight against a 2 Ravage, Radiance, and Arc Warden team. They're just doubling everything.
If Fnatic stands inside of the Wukong's command with 5 heroes because they got called, a 5-man Light Strike array because they all got called.
It's very possible.
This is they kill themselves on Blade Mail because they all got called. Either way, like Tigers had to phone it in.
Yep. I also like the way Fnatic is sort of protecting Roche with the vision they've placed, but they're not looking to take it just yet. There's no need to. Just keep pressuring the map. They're doing exactly what they want to do. Shoving in 2 lanes. Who cares about top? We'll catch that with the clone later. It's completely dead lane at this point for them.
Yeah, that TP's going to come off cooldown in 2 seconds' time. His clone's going to be a little bit longer, though.
And look at Ice as well. Constantly cutting the lane. Tigers is trying to play in with that catapult. This is such a cool way to mess with the enemy squad. They have literally no creep wave, which means your tier 3 is never a problem. And here's Necro to collect 3 waves, and oh, hey, that's a relic.
Some good cash.
Right?
Easy regeneration.
That's the little things that separate the truly great players from the good. You will not see many NA offlaners do that.
It's Ice. This guy's the king of micro. Like, you wanted to StarCraft 2 meme at the very beginning. He was a Zerg player. He knows how to keep very close eyes on like the macro world.
Yep. And it's effectively put Fnatic in a position where they have now locked Tigers in a crease. And sure, Bane, Monkey King, they're outside the base, but what influence are they really putting out on the map when creep waves are just heading towards their towers at all times? Look mid.
Yep.
Look at Lina. Oh, no.
It's even more. Like, they know there's no one behind Lina because at some point, that Observer Ward got inside the Radiant base. They see everything as far as the defense goes. And, well, that's a level 1 Necrobook only, but 22 minutes in, maybe they feel confident enough. Necrobook just came off cooldown. They're going to push the tier 3 tower. Yeah,
why not? There's no real D push once that Lina's dead. There's no cheap spells. He's going to buy back because he realizes, look, I'm the only one that can actually shove this lane for free. And again, Ice still cutting top wave. He just did it. He'll do it again. They have a nice ward down that gives a little bit of vision inside the base. Just very smooth play from Fnatic, and something we didn't see in the previous series. They are very aware of their timings. They're going to hit a point where they have Refresher on Tide, Radiance Necro, and Arc Warden with I would imagine either. I mean, he doesn't even need to do anything. He just keeps farming. But
yeah.
now you're going to get Aegis and Refresher, and then you're going to go high ground and win.
Well, BKB is now completed for the Terror Blade, so he's got a little bit more of a chance to stand and not just be disabled by the Ravage. They need Moon as well to have the same thing, and that's what Moon's farming into. And this may be also the other primary reason why Tigers are just trying to delay this game as much as they possibly can. Goodbye, Bane.
And what have I talked about over and over and over? The top tier teams on Dire, this is the area of the map they play. Top Radiant Shrine. You will collect a free kill every minute or two from the supports who are desperately just trying to establish vision.
Oh,
and it controls
jump up,
Roche.
jump down, perfect. With the drag back of the rock, the trees just get destroyed. Jams is here to ensure the kill, and Monkey King overstayed his welcome. They obviously had already used Reaper Scythe before.
Yep. And you can see that line drawn. That was DJ. He wants them to keep playing in this area. There's no reason to leave it. Eventually, you've got to walk up that high ground just to establish some semblance of map control, and it gives you the two most valuable lanes to cut as well, because top and mid is how you play around Roshan. Refresher soon to be finished. As you said, there's BKBs up on nearly every hero on Tigers. However, will that matter?
Really, at least against the initial attack, but how long do the BKBs last for? You can just back off, right?
Yep.
And even having the BKBs doesn't mean you get away from Global Silence, depending on the time you trigger it.
And let's just look at Abed, man. This Arc Warden hero. The Wolf Creep from Ice, you know, he's done with the Catapult shenanigans. So, hey, let me give my 2 carries a ton of bonus base damage. Bottom, you're going to have Lina, who has bought back, recall, pushing bottom. The rest of his team considering joining him. They'll take those bottom bounties, but Fnatic don't really care. They're continuing to expand upon their lead.
Yeah, they take the top. They take the top bounties. And now with an Aegis the Immortal in the back of the Arc Warden, just going high ground is a lot more like appealing to them. Doesn't matter if Axe gets that perfect combination at the very beginning. Like, as long as it's only the Arc Warden who's copying the damage, you're fine.
Yep. And all you got to do now if you're Fnatic is ensure that you kite the BKBs. Don't take some silly fight with like a Ravage that only hits a support. And you're going to be fine. Axe almost finishing his BKB. Both him and Monkey King are actually near identical in the gold, about 150 away each. TB, of course, has his, but not quite there with the damage output just yet. Yeah,
he's taking his time to, like, just with a split push, try and stay on top of the game. But a smoke gank up by Fnatic. They are most definitely looking to hunt. Arc Warden can just push down the mid and they use him as bait.
He's got bots up as well to join the team whenever he's needed.
Like how Zeph is just trying to force the bottom lane. He's battling the Alpha Wolf at the moment. They may need a new creep.
This is really cool play from Fnatic. They push mid, the clone's bottom, shoving that lane out, and now it's simple. Just collapse towards top. Or bottom. You choose.
Well, they're going to find the Lina. So Jabs silences him up. The Line Strike Array will be able to connect him by a little bit of space, but the Reaper Scythe is going to do its work. 2 minutes?
No buyback.
No buyback and dead for 2 minutes. All right, sure.
And that was, once again, the only hero on Tigers that has an easy method of shoving these lanes. Otherwise, who does it? Yep. Like, you can't blow Taunt or Meta or Monkey King Stun without being punished for it later. You need all these tools if you want to have any hope of winning a fight and collect another tier 2 for free. Monkey does finish his BKB, as does Axe, but you need this flawless team fight, and you only have one real initiator. Fnatic's got 3 heroes with Blink and a Global Silence to cover on top of your BKBs.
Yeah. It's almost that point where you look to see ISS blink in, blow the Ravage just to get the BKBs off, and then burn the Global Silence.
I'll bet you he fakes out at least 1 or 2 BKBs with the typical ice backstroke.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't care anyway. He's still a Refresher rob. He's still got double Ravage as well.
Yeah, and they know Lina has no BKB. Here's a nice smoke move from Tigers. You got to make something happen. You can't let him see your base.
The back. Observer and Sentry were not there. It was only the Sentry from Fnatic. So they don't see, so they start their push. And Arc Warden is very iffy about this. Remember, he's the Aegis carrier, but they're wrapping all the way around the back. But Necro still up the hill. They get away the Ravage. It'll blow out. He'll catch him as well. The jump in. The secondary Ravage. Terrorblade stood no chance. Monkey King at least got the BKB off. But now he's just on the run. The BKB doesn't do anything. And Ice body blocks him. Shoves a melon in his face. And they'll get 3 heroes out of this. 3 heroes without buyback.
What a
the Lina is still
fight.
Dead from the previous Reaper's side, and this will be a mid lane of Rax.
that was just textbook. I mean, the one knockback on Fnatic could be their lack of a captain, but obviously they have no issues playing as a squad. The whole team, very high-skilled, very experienced. They draw back once again to that mythical high ground that Dire loves to play on the Radiant side of the map. Ice says, hey, a TB, I'll ravage him. They saw the Monkey King try to cast ult, silence on top of his BKB. He's worthless. The TB's dead. What now, folks?
Yep. Really, what now? No Metamorphosis available. You got a BKB, but we're going to walk in point-blank range. The only downside for Fnatic at the moment is the fact that Arbet is out of mana, and this is what will force their retreat. But you claimed the melee racks on both mid as well as bottom. It was fast, it was efficient, it was clinical.
Yep.
Surgical.
There's no real improvement you could be made to the play of Fnatic this game. They've cut their losses, they've found kills, they've executed their strategy, acquired map control, their item choices are great.
They haven't even lost the Aegis. Like,
nope.
It was never under any threat anyway.
Yeah, you just wait for Ravage. You've got 1 up in 60, a second in 100 seconds. You don't need to try and win the game here, so I expect them maybe just to take Shrine and chill a bit, but you probably could.
It's confidence for Fnatic. Like, this is that, like, we're pretty far ahead. They are 17,000 gold ahead. They have all the vision advantage as well for the fact they've been walking around with a gem. And I love to, like, the Arc Warden just leaves it at level 1 Necro Book.
And once again, look at where they're standing. Look at where they're playing. You're going to see every top team, and soon the Tier 2 teams figure out, once you have a lead on Dire, this is the only area of the map that matters. But, like, let Radiant play bottom. You don't care. You just chill here. Eventually, someone... It's like being a trapdoor spider. You just hang out. Eventually, a critter is going to come in, give you something to feed on. And if not, you're going to collect 2 bounty runes and Roshan on every respawn.
Well, they get rid of the shrines. There's no TPing in behind the lines for Tigers. It was a 2-2 rune trade-off. And where is Zephyr off to? Is he hoping to try and snipe out the courier, which is coming out of the base? Because the courier's about to fly over his head. Puts down the observer ward. I don't think the courier saw him. The field of vision's too low. It's nighttime. But you know the next fight's on the way. It's just these really aggressive observer wards for a position of Tigers, which is not aggressive at all.
Hey,
and Reaper's Scythe, goodbye. Hey, at least it wasn't a full 2 minutes this time around.
It's strange, though. Typically, he plays the 5. Obviously, 1437, the captain. But this game elects to put himself on the 4, something I've seen other players make the mistake of as well. And he is currently 1-6-1. Not the ideal game for him.
Blink Call with the Blade Melt. Trying to bring down the clone only.
Got him.
But it's still a kill on a clone. It's just not the one he thought it was going to be. He burnt BKB for this, which now means that double Ravage of Ice should hit the Axe both times.
Yep.
And that means Terrorblade is the only other one we have to watch as far as initiation goes.
And they know Lina won't have gold for buyback because they saw the Ags purchased. They can play very aggressive here. But there's no real need. I mean, at any point, Ice can just be like, all right, guys, I'm done. I'm
the double 4-star pushing Arbet's clone into the back lines. He's still got the Mana Style on it too. Such heavy damage. Moon has to call once again. And he's losing so much life. A blink into Ravage and Moon is dead. And in fact, MP just, the Nightmare, it saves him. No, it doesn't. Jabs was still in range. Ravage number 1, Ravage number 2, and GG well played comes out while they're still up in the air. Fnatic, it is a very well-deserved win here in Game 1.
Yep, this is one of my picks for top 4 at this tournament almost for sure.